Hey guys, Jeffrey here. I got a Tom Kench game for you guys today. It is a 50-minute, 110 kill shit show, and there were so many throws from them to us, from us to them, Barons, Elder Dragons, and much more. I had to cheat code several times to get my teammates to stop talking. I ended up uncoding them just so I could hear them again for team plays and whatnot. And yeah, it's going to be a crazy one. So today I wanted to have kind of more of a mindset discussion. I feel like a lot of people talk about in-game plays and they talk about, what champions to play. And I feel like what people need to hear is a little bit more about mindset and long-term growth. Usually our strategies for changing your champions, doing different combos, runes of masteries, these are very short-term strategies. They're very important, but we often forget that people have been playing this game for years, and their expectations and the way they, think about the game are actually important too. So since I'm going to be talking about mentality and what to think about when you're playing the game, I want to focus on VOD reviewing a little bit later as well. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to annotate during this game, and you guys can read along my thought process as to how I can improve my play. Okay, so let's get started. There are many gamers in this world, and some of them are here for fun. If you queue up for ranked just to get your mind off of a stressful day at work or school, then that's absolutely fine. Enjoy yourself. But for those of you that are a little bit more like me and want to see progress and results, you guys should listen and let me know what you think about this. So the way I see it, that there are two groups of people. When it comes to trying to win, there are Group A and Group B. And Group A are winners. They're the ones that are focused on winning. They are the ones that want to have the highest internet points. They want to have the highest rank. They want a good KDA. This is like your typical Call of Duty person back from the early 2000s. And they just prioritize the results. They're very results oriented. Now, Group B, they also want to win, but these people are called the learners. They are trying to develop themselves. They are using every moment in the game as a way to improve their play, whether it's a win or a loss. They don't criticize other people on their team as highly or as harshly as they do themselves. And they typically try to win the game and not forfeit. Now, the winner group, they burn bright and fast. When darkness comes, they have a really bad difficulty handling it. To get through the tough times in this game, you really need to be able to reflect on how you've been playing and innovate your own play style. A lot of people talk about playing, 1,000, 2,000 games a year, try one tricking, try only playing one role, or using like a tier list in an attempt to win more games by counterpicking the enemy. But I really want to talk about VOD reviewing because I feel like even though it's a simple strategy, people don't really discuss how to do it, when to do it, etc. Okay, so just like journaling, in real life, when you're trying to put your thoughts to paper, you are trying to increase the awareness that you currently have over your life. And so VOD reviewing is the only real way that we can have access to our strengths and weaknesses in game. When people journal to get their thoughts out, a forgotten piece of that pastime is rereading and reflecting on those words. When you VOD review, you need to look for missed opportunities and times when you acted incorrectly with regards to the information available. If you just VOD review or just journal all the things that happened and how you felt, but then never learn anything from it, it's effectively wasted time. Winners tend to VOD review much less than learners. They're too focused on getting more games in. But learners will often spend a lot of time VOD reviewing and maybe even dwelling over certain games. And so that can be a bit of an issue as well. So figuring out who you are in this game, and I guess in life, is what's going to allow you to create a good plan for the future when it comes to your grind. So whether that plan is to put 20 games in a day, reviewing a few of your losses, or to play 5 games a day, reviewing absolutely every minute of those games, something is out there that will work for you. In reality, we are all both winners and learners. We have two sides to one coin, you could say. And so it's just important to be aware and consider which version of you is showing up at any given time. So let's consider that. Imagine your girlfriend just broke up with you and you're on a 5-game loss streak, the winner, and you just want a taste of victory before going to bed. You've all been there. We've all been there. It's 2:00 in the morning. I just want to win. Now, on the flip side of this coin, imagine it's Saturday morning, you've just logged in, you've had a cup of coffee, your assignments that are due on Monday are already complete from last night's study session, and you have the day ahead of you. That is so much more relaxed and tranquil. So the version of you will probably be much more patient and willing to reflect on your mistakes. So I kind of wanted to put this into practice. I really don't like when people have all these big ideas, but they don't directly test them. So let's take a little quiz here. So we're going to guess which gamer is present in the scenario. Number 1. My team really threw here, but if I hadn't lost my flash level 1, maybe it wouldn't have snowballed this way. That is the learner. That is someone who took personal responsibility over their own efforts in the game, even though they're upset that they lost. Okay, number 2. My mid died 7 times in lane. I don't even get to jungle when my mid can't get prio. Yeah, that one's a little bit more obvious. It's definitely the winner. This is the person that is blaming their mid laner, even though they didn't even begin to reflect on their own personal decision making. And here's a little bit of an extra one. You can consider this extra credit. Number 3. You know what they say, can't end on a win. This person is a for-funner. They are a part of a group that has no self-control and wants to ruin the lives of everyone around them. Okay. So there's a reason why I'm uploading this on Friday morning. For those of you starting your weekend early or getting into the solo queue grind, be aware. I want you to be aware of which version of you is showing up and playing during this time. Understand what that means for your in-game performance and your mental health. Understand your environment around you. If your life is full of priorities and you're just trying to get one game in, do you really think it's appropriate for the winner to show up and provide unnecessary amounts of stress on what is essentially a coin flip? One could argue it's never really advantageous to focus on winning over your development, but this is something that I learned halfway through my coaching career in the collegiate scene. During this time, I came upon the realization that the person who focuses on winning sets himself up for failure by creating pressured expectations, while the person who focuses on growth will always have something to gain and can take pride in losses knowing that they have added to their list of bad moves in game. So I hope after watching you guys, this video, you guys can take notes of how you're feeling and when you're trying to win and prioritize what matters for you. So good luck this weekend, and I hope it goes well. All right, so my super try-hard speech only lasted like 8 minutes. And so I really didn't feel like I had anything else to say. I kind of said everything I wanted to say. But there actually is still more game to be watched because this game was absolutely nuts. And I love the fact that we were able to just kite out that Urgot because he has been one-shotting me all game. The enemies, Katarina and Jarvan, were slipping and sliding all over the place. And unfortunately, the Jarvan did such a good job that our Olaf got behind early and it made it really difficult for him to really put any pressure on the back line. So I think that's what caused this game to be such a long one, is that both teams were making similar mistakes and similar plays. And so it was pretty 50-50. Yeah, Elder Dragon is extremely important. It's one of those things, it's like once they have it, they've just bought, I don't know how much it costs or how much it lasts, like 2 or 3 minutes. But see, here you see me going over, hit the Urgot. Now I'm going onto the Jarvan. The Annie gets pushed into the pit. Jarvan ults on top of my Heimerdinger. He ends up falling, and then I alt or W back into the pit. Echo goes over the wall. Like, this is crazy. I could have queued there, but I didn't. It's just, I think the reason why we're having such a hard time maybe is that because we don't have any guaranteed CC. If you look at all of our champions, Tom Kench has got decent CC. Heimerdinger is really just alt E is the best thing he's got. Echo's W's situational. Olaf is soft CC, and Jin also needs setup. We have a really hard time locking them down. And so when fights start, unless they're super well coordinated, just like this one, which was the Heimer grenade into the Jarvan pressure, and he feels pressured to ult on top of me, we just struggled. We struggled. But once we all grouped up here at the end, the tide started turning. Actually, Heimerdinger hits a huge flash E on their AD carry, which he was, I'm not going to lie, he was feeding this whole game. But he did a good job. There I didn't need to eat him because my reaction time's slow. I was just mashing. I didn't want anyone to die. But yeah, this game lasted so long. Tahm Kench level 18, like 5-6 items. This guy is so thick, but still this Urgot was able to pretty much one-shot me. I get that coverage, Abyssal Dive, landing on top of him. I don't quite get the stun here, but now we're chasing Annie a little bit. That W cast could have been a little bit closer to the right, but, you know, we're still trying to play a little slow. We don't want to force too far and have someone in our backline die. And just like that, Jarvan jumps on top of us. His engages really fell off. This guy was playing so well. He was pressuring so hard, and it just kind of started falling apart for him. He wasn't finding the engages he was finding earlier on. Here, I overstep. I'm feeling really close. If I could wait 2 seconds and QR that Urgot, I'd be able to eat him from far and pull him in. I just never get to do that. I don't think in the last like 30 games I've played Tahm Kench, I don't think I've a single time gotten to do the long range QR. Here, Jarvan engages again. I go ahead and ult my Jhin just to reposition him from the Katarina, which is pretty good. And we both end up using Flash. But now that they've committed to the Baron Pit, it's just GG. They can't really do anything now that they're in our kind of little domain here. So there's 4 down. They're down for 60 seconds. That's insane. Typically, you only need about 30 seconds if you're at about inner. So that gives you enough time to kill Inhibitor and the Nexus Towers, and they will spawn within the next 5. Now I'm just trying to delay the recall of the last member because that's just going to 100% guarantee that we don't lose this or that we can end on time. Now, once your Q gets on a low cooldown later in the game, you can actually stack your passive without using any autos. Here I spit her out, miss my freaking Q. It doesn't matter. I don't care. I'm not really that mad. Because, you know, I realize that my team's just trolling at the end of the game and the game's over. It's in the bag. But I'm pretty upset that I missed that. I could have 1v1 the AD carry at the end of the game. Anyways, I really appreciate you guys watching the video. Let me know what you thought about the more serious portion. If I missed anything, put it in the comments. Hopefully I can make a video addressing any stuff that I've left out. Or any of the stuff you guys liked. I can maybe expand on it. Anyways, I really appreciate you guys watching. Thanks.